Can you explain how you use these numbers, and if I use them to figure out people's name or figure out something, how would they help me? How could I use them?
The numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were here yesterday, brother, but I told everybody, don't be going around looking at everybody's name and trying to do it.
How would I use them?
Well, what you do is you go to the Bible, and every time you listen to your minister talk, start using even check his name. If you don't trust your minister, check his name. See if he comes down to 666. Or check the words and the names in the Bible, because the names of people didn't exist. They actually are principles. And then you use that story to deal with the principles inside of your body.
All right, so they got like Sammy's, you got to figure out Sammy's number, right? So how do you use that? I'm just how do you use it?
You use it to identify where, what, when, why, and how, just as you would use a signpost. This side says one way, that says the 125th Street, you know where you at.
All right, so if I get a number 114 or 214, what does that mean?
What you do is you just factor down. If it comes down to 444, you add them all together. 4, 8, 12. 12 becomes 3, and then you understand. 2 and 1 makes 3. Right now, what we're going to do is I can talk to you a little bit afterwards, and we can clarify a little bit further. Yes.
Expanding on the previous sister's question about God and the Bible, if we are the question, the answer, and the solution, then there's no need to look outside of ourselves. Who is the higher power? Who is God? Is God still God? And if so, is there a point to prayer?
Okay.
Because Christianity...
This is coming out with some heavy stuff. Is there a point to prayer? Is there a higher power? She's talking about...
And Christianity teaches us that God is better than ourselves, so we are supposed to unleash our burdens and let God take care of it. But if we are God, then we are supposed to take care of our burdens. And I just want you to expand on that.
Welfare shit.
There's a greater explanation. You must understand there's a greater explanation. And I'll give you the lighter version of it is, to explain this thing, is it's no different than an army where you have a chain of command. First of all, what we call God is nothing but a whole bunch of energy. That's an unmanifested energy, which really ain't shit. Nothing. It's called the nothing.
Yes.
It is through man, who is the agent, that is the perfecter, or what you call the perfecting agent. It's almost like you got an old fat ass old man about 90 years old, and he's in the head of a crime family, and everybody is scared of him, not because he can go out and kill. The hit man actually goes out and actually kills. So in actuality, we are the only manifestation or the only energy of God, period, because that's called nothingness.
That's it.
And from the nothing, you get the absolute.
There it is.
So in actuality, it's an extension. It is an extension of the same action. You see what I'm saying? But as far as it being a higher power, it ain't shit. It's nothing. It's not anything for the simple fact that it made itself to be something, and what it made itself to actually manifest was us. So we are the only manifestation of that what you call God. You see?
What you saying about the power of prayer, as far as...
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as you projecting prayer, if you are projecting prayer, and the problem we have as people who keep the ceiling of this paradigm that we're in on it, is that we are dependent on something that we think is greater than ourselves. But everything that has ever shown itself to be a miracle has been based upon what man or woman has done for the other person, or what they in their heart has awakened to. Now your needs alone are God's needs. Remember, I told you that chaos is a principle that is. It is the nothing. You look at that movie, what's that thing, Forever? The never-ending story.
Right.
They were worried about the nothing. The nothing was dying, and nothing was taking over every fucking thing. The nothing was going back to itself. What did the nothing need? The nothing needed somebody to dream. The nothing needed somebody to put something in there so that nothing knew that it was something.
It also needed, the nothing needed someone to know about nothing.
Yes.
Everybody had forgotten about Fantasia.
Exactly. And Fantasia is everything that you have created based upon how God saw itself when it became something. So now that it was becoming nothing, hey, I don't want to lose what it is that I have become now that I was nothing and now I'm something. Now, don't even ask me to repeat that shit. When you pray, you have been taught to pray for something outside of yourself, so immediately you've defeated the purpose of prayer. If you are praying, then that should be a form of meditation to harness your power, not to ask for shit. Because if you go up looking for a welfare check, that might as well be a prayer. You're getting it answered.
When you're praying, you have been taught to think it's some man up there.
Yeah.
The only thing that can even receive anything to give you energy back to do anything is yourself. So actually, prayer is a modified way of meditation where you literally speak to yourself to give yourself.
Hello.
You've just been fooled to thinking there's some other cracker up here with some other stink-ass crackers around some table and all, which the upper room, in the upper room, that's your fucking damn Godhead. You see what I'm saying? So going back, you are the agent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
See, the priests did that to you. The priests did it to you to make them powerful. The priests told you that you had to cut up a calf and send it to them. The priests told you you had to pray and give alms every Sunday. It's the priests that set up a personal God to make you believe you created an original sin. But the only original sin that was created by the Creator. So the Creator created the original sin. Why are you taking the blame for shit you ain't had nothing to do with? So now here you are worrying about the original sin and praying to God for somebody to give you clarity about what it is you're supposed to get as your reward. And if you're good now and you go to church, if you're good now and do as the Bible say, and they say, oh, you niggas is always singing, Jesus, finish this sentence. And I know you know how to say it. Jesus loves me, this I know. See, you niggas, you are well trained. You motherfuckers are well trained. The Bible told you so. When the fuck Jesus ever tell you he loved you? You ever met the motherfucker? But you are seriously caught up in this Jesus shit. That's the biggest virus going on right now, because this shit is eating a hole in your own soul. You don't even know who you are now unless somebody interprets the shit for you. You got a doctor to interpret your diseases. He tells you what your disease is and uses your own power of thought to create the symptom. Then you go to church to try to find some form of eclectic shit to give you some comfort, and the priest tells you, use this virus to get rid of the other fucking virus you dying from.
It's a form of a cliche. It's almost like, how do I know it's God? He woke me up this morning. Motherfucking goddamn dog woke up.
Yeah.
Waking up don't constitute shit.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, now we can hear it.
What becomes death? What becomes death?
There is no death.
What becomes death, she asked.
There is no death, sister. There is only change. There is no death. Don't even think that you're going to heaven, all this shit. You know where the heaven shit came from? Dante's Inferno. When that motherfucker wrote that shit in 1600, everybody began adopting that shit about purgatory and everybody. There was motherfuckers lining up with money because the priest said you could buy your way into purgatory. And you had that shit going to a step-down trip, and now you're going to buy your way into heaven because you say, I passed the hat. How much you gave? You didn't give minister, no, man, I gave only $10. Well, shit, you think you're getting to heaven today? Bullshit. You ain't give enough. And that's what it's all about.
So entities and angels, that's the encoding system that we've been adopting.
The word angel, sister, comes from the word angle. A-N-G-E-L is L-E. The E-L, sister, is God. It's that which is elevated. The angle, essentially, is the way the light focuses itself and crosses and makes a nexus at you. You are the nexus point for the configuration of specific light codes. So the angles that come in tell you what your consciousness levels are based upon how high your crystals of frequencies are vibrating at that time. That's how consciousness is. Consciousness is a vibratory level. Anybody could be conscious, but can you be aware? That's the trick. Anything is conscious. A goddamn rock is conscious. You see? But how do you use that consciousness?
An angel can just simply be anything. You have an angel in the body called a holy guardian angel, even call it. But you have spirits in the body and spirits out of the body. So anything can be a damn angel. That ain't nothing but some fucking energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole concept of angel. Hell, your parents are angels. You see what I'm saying? Or anything that doesn't live in the physical body is considered an angel. But that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, somebody on the right hand of heaven and the whole 9 yards like that. No. You know.
Sister wants to talk about to quickly drop something on the Nicene Council that did with the Christianity.
Oh.
My question is, see, I want to get...
Go ahead, we repeat it.
Go ahead.
Say it, repeat it.
Oh, God.
When I go listen to this damn thing and edit, I can't hear it.
Thank you. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm mean anyway. When I asked him, I thought you were just going to go on into it for me. I wanted to know at the Nicene Conference, isn't that the place where Jesus Christ really was born from? And what books can we get to read? Because I want to read some stuff on this.
Okay, you can read all of Hotima's books. Hotima got some serious breakdowns on the... They're out there right now. Hilton Hotima broke down some serious information on the Nicene Council. You can also read Antiquity Unveiled. That breaks that whole thing down. You can also read some of the books that are on the Nicene Council, but you got to go into the churches. They have it in some of the Vatican libraries. They have some of those things in the St. John's Cathedral. What's that place up there? St. John the Divine. They got information on the Vatican, and it was the 325 that they started that shit. Remember, Jesus didn't come around until around 6 to 10 AD when they got the idea to speak about Jesus Christus or Krishna. Because remember, Apollonius of Tyana went to learn over at the Bodhisattva over in India. And he brought all that information about Krishna and that whole story about Krishna over and began teaching it to all of these white folks. So they began incorporating that in there.
Plus, there's more written about Jesus in commentary around the world, millions of books on Jesus, than it is spoken about him in the Bible. It's almost, if you add up most of the stuff that's in the Bible, Jesus is the least thing talked about. There's most stuff written on Jesus. That means that you have a people literally carving a story. But the Afrocentric people made a lot of that stuff available. You go right out here in front of the Mart and find all the Conference of Nicaea books and stuff. Actually, that's damn near elementary. Yes, it is. You know, as far as because Ben and Clark and them whipped that shit to death a long time ago. I would suggest some of the better things to get is to get some of the actual texts that weren't added into the actual canonical, as well as the book, the other Bible, which is great because that gives you the Gnostic text. It gives you the Book of Enoch. It gives you the a pseudepigrapha. It gives you even give you some Hermetic scripture. So I think that's one of the best books for your money. About $39. That other Bible, the big blue book, is by Brownstone. Brownstone. It's called the Other Bible by Brownstone, which gives you basically, like I said, several scriptures that's outside. It gives you the whole Apocrypha and all, but and it also gives you Dead Sea Scrolls. So I think it's for your money worth. I think it's one of the better buys out here and all.
But you know, they also need to get, Bobby, they need to get the Babylonian texts. They need to get the Babylonian texts about Nebuchadnezzar and Sargon. All of those pieces of information is where they started pimping the story of Moses. All of these particular stories are out, and get Gerald Massey's books. You'll see the story of Heru, Osiris, all of them. Everything has to do with Christianity is in all of these other books.
And a great book now, it's been out a year, written by the Jewish head of the Archaeological Society, white boy, the Bible Myth. Hardback, it was the Moses Mystery, but I think he got attacked by the Jews, so he put the same book in softback called the Bible Myth. What's the name of the guy?
Greenberg. Oh.
Richard, Alex right. Greenberg or something? Richard Greenberg. Excellent book.
Another book, Bible Myths, Misconceptions, and what's the other name again? Misconceptions and Myths of the Bible. by Graham. No, this is by Graham. Misconceptions and Myths of the Bible by Graham.
Yes, I want to know if you could touch like about aerobics and working out, physical fitness, and how it breaks down the body.
The brother is talking to her about health issues. Aerobics are military exercises. Okay, that's good. We want to prepare. But for me, you want to deal with anything, you start dealing with some of the martial arts, kung fu.
I'm talking about like how like working out. Like,
Oh yeah, well, pumping iron and stuff. Yeah, well, you can lift weights. That's all right. That's cool in the gang. You can lift weights. If you're eating properly, and if you're focusing your attention into building yourself up, not to just be looking pretty, but to actually keep the tone in your body, to put the right food in your body, and go ahead.
I think that the martial arts would be a better tool. I'll tell you why. Because see, when you do something that's totally physical, there's no school of thought behind lifting weights.
None.
You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, you become the physical body as the results get better. One thing with any type of martial arts or Tai Chi and all that, in order to actually gain from it, you're going to have to deal with the other side, which is the mind side. And I think that in actuality, that's why if you notice that the martial arts was in the 70s, you know, the karate movies, martial arts was real big. Then it had it died a little bit, and then all this aerobic stuff, as far as the aerobics class. My point is even if you do that, you're going to have to balance it off and all. And the reason why I say that, because I have a friend that personally went to the other side of that physical lifting weight type thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, if it's part of, like you say, if it's enhanced by you taking, as I was saying in the beginning, the martial arts, and then you want to enhance what it is that you're receiving and gaining from martial arts, then you have a whole package. Because like brother said, you don't need too much of a brain to be picking up weights. You know, anybody dealing with that particular mentality, that's fine. If they want to just build up, to just husk up. But if they are doing things that have to do with focusing and centering the mind, like in Tai Chi, or in Kung Fu, or in Qigong, then you're putting together the energy that you would put as Yang, now you temper it with Yin. And then you have a whole person. You be balanced. I hope that helps you, brother. Make sure you put the proper fuel into your system as well. All right? Thank you, beloved.
All right. I have a question for someone else, but actually I'm going to start out by saying first, in response to that question, the person wants to know that if words are an actual, and in fact, a vibratory force, then why do we use the term nigger? I know, of course, that the word nigger is an alchemical term that's referencing to what I was talking about earlier, the Negrito stage, which is also symbolically represented by an Ethiopian. So the term nigger or Negro is not a negative term in the context of what it means as far as transformation. But I would like, you to give a little further, either one of you two, on that.
Again, we are using the English language. When you use the English language, there is a ceiling or a canopy of perception that goes with the words that we use. Those words now infect you with a specific response mechanism. Nigger used to be accompanied by a whip. Nigger used to be accompanied by your dick getting cut off. Nigger used to be accompanied by your neck getting stretched. So in true fashion of Willie Lynch syndrome, the word nigger now, instead of it being the alchemic principle that's supposed to resurrect the black dot, now becomes the ceiling of pain that you now transduce and transmute like you are. Because all alchemy is about transmutation. So if the words now have been given a specific perceptual matrix that you are filtering your meaning through, you are now fucked up because your programming center is now sending signals of information via pain to your cells, and your cells learn through your experiences. Okay? I hope that actually helps to give that part.
But on one other hand, I think that and it's not just piggybacking off the nigger, but I think on a lot of things that's happening is this archetype of the collective unconscious is breaking through. Is how is it that you can have some brothers out in California that all of a sudden their friends start getting killed, getting smoked, and all of a sudden they just think of this ritual where they take the doggone 40s and pour them in the doggone water to the brothers ain't here. So we're talking about actually something actually breaking through and coming through to another point, whereas that's some type of archetype. Yes. Some type of transmigration and all, and there's a lot of that. You got to look at, there's a lot of that particular thing actually happening too.
The sister over here was saying she did the alchemical and mathematical persuasion on the word nigger, and it came up to be 360 degrees.
Well, I will put it this way. I'll put it this way.
That's why we say, nigga, what you doing?
I'll put it this way. On cable last year, they had this white guy had this campaign to try to get black people from saying nigger. And nigger. You see what I'm saying? And he had an ignorant brother on there still some nigga in his face, but the white boy was getting all mad. The white boy was getting all mad, and was to the point where, as you noticed it, in actuality, this also became a word that actually destroys them also. In that particular point, whenever this white boy has got this campaign to get black people, ain't no black people around, to stop saying nigger. You see what I'm saying?
That ain't nothing for us.
You see. So, you know.
They want to become politically and word correct.
Yeah.
Sorry. Get it.
I just wanted to know, what do you think is the role of women in the whole consciousness movement?
Brother, want to feel that first, and I'll feel the second. Role of women in consciousness movement.
Well, I can say one thing, and I can only go by what's been happening from the tip of Florida to the to damn Pennsylvania, is that you can be domesticated. We got to get out of this domestication of the mind. What I mean by that is, literally, what we call this domestic animal is a white man's creation based on his woman. The sister has always been the matriarch. And what I can say about it is based on this mentality is, you got a lot of sisters now, and I'm just going by what I know, you got a lot of sisters now that's thinking that any type of consciousness or anything outside of family is a male's job as far as this consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas somebody is trying to tell you not to think a certain doggone way. In the goddess ritual, the ancient goddess ritual, there's supposed to be a certain amount of sisters that incarnate that in actuality is warriors in the aspect, not necessarily physical, but mental. So what I'm trying to say is we got a lot of sisters that's domesticated in the mind based on they think that anything consciousness is alien to them as a woman, and that's not necessarily true. And so basically you can't separate wisdom from womanhood. It's the word Sophia, divine Sophia, means wisdom. You see what I'm saying? So this is a big problem that has been going on since we've had a movement, is that we equate any type of consciousness as a male thing. And it's not necessarily the people in here, because this is all the people in here is basically preaching to the converted. But I'm trying to say there's people out here, there's other people out here that say, well, that's a man's thing. And the reason why I say that is I was at a damn cookout back in '96. And when we was talking about all kind of bullshit, everybody was together. And as soon as the brothers start talking about consciousness, the group of sisters got up and walked in the damn room. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You see what I'm saying? So right now, what happens with me, if a brother steps to me and go, yo, man, I got some conscious thing, man. Can you step in the other room? And my mate there, I'll be like, look, if you can't say the shit around my goddamn girl, I don't want to hear this shit. It ain't worth you even saying. Any damn thing in that particular point. I'm not talking about no motherfucking rites of passage bullshit where you got to raise a certain male. No, I'm a grown fucking man, and I'm two halves of the same entity. So my point is, it's got to be a doggone unison and a joint effort. So my point is, you know, some people will, you know, going to separate and go and say some things that's not around the woman. Me and my woman is one. You see what I'm saying? Is one. And so therefore, any brother come, I don't let him separate the sisters out of it. So what happens is, we were at, and this is very interesting because this is the case study. We were at some friend's house last October of last year, and immediately when we were outside talking consciousness, this other sister took to the other sister and said, "Come on, let's go to the doggone grocery store." Oh, fuck that shit. What the hell? We talking consciousness, and you going exclusive shit to take your monkey ass to a goddamn grocery store? This is some primitive fucking shit. So the other sister told my sister, "Hey, let's go to the damn grocery store." And she's like, "I don't want to go to no goddamn grocery store. Your brother's out here talking shit. You talking about going some damn grocery store." So we talking about getting out of it. So my domestication is not a physical domestication saying you don't clean your home or you don't take care of your child. I'm saying a mental thing. You can't be domestic in the mind because that's based on this Eurocentric bullshit, a second-class citizen. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. As Jimi Hendrix said, if 6 were 9, the number of man is 6, but when you put the womb into it, it becomes 9 with the intrinsic 666 in it, which shows you that the higher harmonics and the X factor, the X file, the X chromosome, the X every damn thing, the X rays that the sun is giving off right now, has to do with the new Eve. And if the sisters are the vessel whereby the new Eve is to be born through her wisdom, through her mother wit, you got to get her out of the work fucking force. You got to get her out the education system. You can't tell her nothing right now because she's liberated, whatever the fuck that means. But until she gets out of that bullshit, 6 can never become 9 because the 9 cycle and the harmonic is vibrating in her womb. And it is in your womb, sister, that you teach the next generation through the harmonics of your bloodstream that that child pulls her information, his nutrients from. It is within that tabernacle, inside of that tabernacle, that you give life to the next version of that harmonic. The baby is the harmonic of the consciousness that you vibrate on. So if your harmonic is distorted, what kind of children are you kicking out from in there? If you're bleeding 7 and 8 days and hemorrhaging 7 and 8 days, sisters, how is your blood crystal, which is the harmonic evaluator, going to be bringing forth genius children when most of your life is leaking away? Do you know that a woman within a year's period of time could bleed enough blood to make a whole person? Now, when you bleeding your life away like that, sister, 6 can never become 9. And you have to know that the actual temple and tabernacle for the resurrection of the new physical paradigm must come from the womb. And if your brain is in the education system, if your brain is in there trying to get your Oprah Winfrey, what the fuck is this new movie she got out there now, beloved? Why can't that bitch come off the plantation? That bitch got $40 billion, but she always paying some poor ass. Can't you see it? Yeah. The color purple. Every place you go, the only thing they got, because they got them niggas that keep that ceiling on. She's supposed to keep that ceiling on, that beloved. What the fuck is that beloved? No, and I don't give a shit about seeing it, because that's bullshit. Anything with Oprah Winfrey, anything with Harpo, I don't want to see with that bitch. That bitch is a sellout, man. Did you see her when Steven Spielberg, Merlin, was on a show to push that bullshit Amistad? She was down there like Monica Lewinsky. That motherfucker walked on like king shit. And if you looked at that program, they had that buck nigga naked there. You couldn't have him looking like he's supposed to be sink you with a sword in his hand. They had that nigga standing up there, a full-fledged, life-size version of this nigga naked. Like he was on a block, and the bitch was selling him. And then in the movie, I had to find out, because I couldn't go there, because I'd have had to go and kill some people when I walked out of that shit. I heard that they had this dumb nigga with a Bible in his fucking hand talking about, oh, you Jews suffered more than my people. How come somebody can go up to Spielberg and boom? What kind of shit is that? And you suck that up. Oh, wasn't that such a good movie? That bitch, Debbie, what was that, Debbie Allen? You believe that shit? She had to get up on Steven Spielberg's desk and do an African dance for him? And you love that shit. You go to them movies. You're going to go and see Beloved. Don't tell me no shit. You're going to go and see it. All of y'all, the women going to pull the boys in there to see it. You watch. Or you want to go see Beloved. Fuck a Beloved. Word.
You were kind of saying that you're against, not kind of, you were saying that you're against educating women or the way we act after we've gotten education. But a lot of times people get education. I know you know this. I'm just asking. People get education because they're just trying to find means of feeding themselves. A lot of times you don't have the man there to feed you the way we would most likely like. So what are these supposed conscious women supposed to do in the meantime to feed the kids?
Okay, I'm not telling you that this is the paradigm. You drop everything now, but I'm going to give you a scenario before I turn it over to Brother Bobby. Now here's something. See, niggas don't want to suffer. They want the revolution to put them in a fucking cushion and float them into the next time. Y'all want to be led in like they told you to the promised land. I've been there on the mountain and all that bullshit. You believe that shit. You go to church, you inherit the promised land. But you don't want to suffer. You don't want to bleed. Now, sisters, I'm not telling you to come out to college. I'm telling you got to come out to college. You shut the system down and teach yourself what you need to know. You know them sisters in the Philippines go all the way through college, get a PhD, and don't go looking for no job. They go looking for the husband to raise the child and teach them they damn self. That's all they do. And it's funny because now you destroy the male so he can't help to take care and provide. And he got you out there busting your ass to get a dime so you could pay for your children. The children don't belong to you because it belongs to the state. So you actually working to keep the property of the state fed. But wait a minute now. I'm going to put a scenario up to everybody. What if you, learning the principles of fasting and meditation, you don't buy shit from none of the stores for a month. You don't go to the fucking subways to go to work for a month. You don't turn on your lights for a month. You don't do shit, the television, nothing. You shut this bad thing down for a month. Can you do that? Can you shut down the habits that you have formed? Can you stop doing the bullshit that keeps this beast keeping you in misery? No, because you like your television. You like your Mickey D hamburgers. You like all the shit. You like to be entertained. But you don't want to suffer. You don't want them missed meal cramps. You don't want to deal with what it is that comes down when you don't have food or drink. You don't want to shut him down at the source because if you ain't buying shit, guess what? That motherfucker will come to you hat in hand. He will find a way to find you to do something for him because the secret behind this shit is because you are participating in his shit. The more you participate, the more powerful he gets. You stop participating, Gandhi, that motherfucker showed you what the deal was. He stopped doing everything and shut the whole goddamn country down. 90 billion motherfuckers stopped doing everything. And the British Empire started cringing. If you stop participating, and that's the trick, he keeps your attention. That Bobby was saying. He keeps your attention. He keeps you looking in one direction because he don't want you concentrating in the other. If you shut him down, shut the television, the radio, the movies, his food, all of that shit off, he ain't got a way into you. Now he got to come and shoot you. He got to show you what he really wants to do or has to do. But if you stop buying everything that belongs to him and you stop aggrandizing the beast, he will die. You keep him alive. You are the beast.
Yeah, all right.